The transport ship's silver path drifted through the quiet stretch of deep space where almost nothing ever happened. That was why Commander Rian Hale felt uneasy. Silence in space was normal, but this silence felt wrong. It felt heavy, like something was watching the ship from the darkness between the stars. Rian walked down the narrow hallway, boots echoing as he checked each section. Everything looked normal. Lights steady, engines humming, crew calm. But the feeling in his gut only grew stronger. Then he saw her again, the strange alien woman sitting alone in the cargo bay. She had arrived at the last space station with no identification, no clan markings, nothing that explained why she was so far from her people. Her clothes were torn, her hands shaking. When the guards scanned her, the machine flashed red, not because she was dangerous, but because she belonged to a caste known across the galaxy as the Dustborn, the lowest of the low. A heritage considered unclean by her own species. A group no one touched. No one helped. But Rian didn't care about such rules. Humanity never believed in dirty blood. So he allowed her to board the ship, gave her water, and told the crew to treat her with respect. Yet from the moment she stepped on board, something about her felt strange. Now, sitting in the cargo hold, she stared at the far wall without blinking. Her long gray hair fell over her face. She clutched a small metal cord around her wrist, thin, rusty, and tightly wrapped, almost like a trap she couldn't remove. Rian stepped closer. "You all right?" he asked softly. She didn't move. He tried again. "Do you need food? Medical help? Anything?" Her lips trembled. "No, please. Don't come near." Her voice was so quiet it felt like a whisper inside his skull. It sent chills through him. She wasn't threatening him. She was pleading. Rian crouched down, lowering his voice. "You're safe on this ship. I promise. No one will hurt you." Her eyes lifted slowly, silver, frightened, shining like frozen moons. "You don't understand," she said. "I carry something I cannot stop. Something my people fear. Something I should not have brought here." That's when Rian noticed her fingers pulling at the old metal cord, twisting it nervously. The cord wasn't a bracelet. It wasn't jewelry. It wasn't decoration. It was a seal, a lock, a warning, the kind placed on beings who carried unstable biological energy. His heart tightened. "What is that on your wrist?" Rian asked. She shook her head violently. "Please, don't ask. Please, don't pull it. Never pull it." But the fear in her eyes didn't look like she feared him. It looked like she feared herself. A sudden tremor shook the ship, just a small vibration, but enough to make containers rattle. Rian grabbed a railing while the woman covered her face with trembling hands. "What was that?" he asked. She whispered, "It is coming. I tried to warn them. They didn't listen." Before he could question her, the lights in the room flickered. The hum of the engines dipped. Something outside the ship moved, slow, massive, and silent. The ship's AI spoke through the intercom. "Commander Hale, unidentified object detected. It is approaching fast." Rian stood. "Identify it." "Unknown class. Unknown heat signature. Unknown intent." Rian felt his chest go cold. The woman suddenly reached forward and grabbed his wrist, clutching it with surprising strength. "Commander, whatever you do," she whispered, "do not pull the cord on my wrist. If you do, everything will change, and you will not be ready." Rian stared at her. Outside, the darkness shifted again, closer this time. Whatever was coming, it was hunting them. And the Dustborn woman was somehow connected. The alarms stayed silent, but every sensor on the silver path flickered like they were afraid to speak. Commander Rian Hale rushed toward the bridge, the Dustborn woman a few steps behind him, moving with a strange mix of fear and determination. She kept her hand tightly over the metal cord around her wrist, as if even brushing it might awaken something. When they reached the bridge, the crew stood frozen. Not panicking, just quiet. Too quiet. The stars outside the viewing window were wrong. They weren't twinkling or drifting. They were bending, like something massive, invisible, was distorting the very space around them. Lieutenant Aaron spoke first. "Commander, we tried to scan the object. The scanner shut off. Then the backup scanner shut off. Then the emergency system tried to send a warning, and that shut off." Rian stepped closer to the viewing glass. Then he saw it. A silhouette, long, thin, unnatural, gliding beside the ship. Not metal, not biological, not anything he had ever seen. It felt like a shadow that had learned how to breathe. "What in the void?" Rian whispered. The dust-born woman suddenly gasped and pressed her palms to her face. No, no, it followed me. It shouldn't have found me so far from the colonies. I thought I escaped it. Rian turned sharply. You know what that thing is? She shook her head helplessly. Not its name, not its purpose, only that my people fear it more than death. And it comes only for those marked with a heritage like mine. Aaron swallowed. Commander, whatever it is, it's studying us. The ship shuddered again, gentler this time, almost like something brushing fingertips against the hull. A probing touch. A test. The lights dimmed to half power. The emergency power cell tried to kick in. It died instantly. Navigation offline, the AI announced. Weapons offline. Shields offline. Life support stable for now. The entire crew exchanged nervous looks. Rian tried to stay calm. Everyone stand by. No sudden actions. No weapon systems. It might interpret aggression as a threat. Aaron leaned closer to the sensor terminal. Commander, it's moving toward Cargo Bay 3. The dust-born woman's breath hitched. That's where I stayed, she whispered. Before Rian could respond, the ship lurched violently, throwing several officers to the floor. Something slammed the hull, hard, like claws scraping metal. The AI's voice trembled as though the machine itself was afraid. Unknown life sign attempting to breach the outer plating. Rian activated internal cams. The screen showed a dark smear on the outer shell, shifting like oil made of living nerves. It spread, expanded, searching for weak spots. The dust-born woman dropped to her knees. It wants the sealed energy. The one inside me. The one this cord holds back. Rian crouched beside her. Then tell me how to stop it. She shook her head, tears forming. You can't stop it. You can only delay it. As long as the cord stays on. I keep it contained. But if someone pulls it, if it releases, then the creature outside will not remain outside. The hull dented inward with a metallic groan. The crew jumped. Aaron shouted. Commander, the outer layer is cracking. Rian grabbed the dust-born woman by the shoulders. Not harshly, but firmly. Listen to me. I don't care what your people believe. I don't care what they call you. You are on a human ship now, and we protect every life on board. If that thing wants you, it will have to go through all of us. Her eyes widened, confused that a human would claim her as worth saving. Another slam rocked the ship. Sparks flew from the ceiling as two terminals overloaded. The AI flickered. Warning, breach in 20 seconds. The shadow outside pressed harder. The hull bent. Gave way. Tiny cracks formed like spiderwebs across the metal. Rian shouted. Seal all inner doors around Cargo Bay 3. The doors slid shut. Thick, reinforced, airtight. But it wouldn't be enough. The woman touched Rian's hand with trembling fingers. Commander, if the creature gets inside, you must not pull the cord. Promise me. Rian stared into her silver eyes. He didn't know what the cord did. He didn't know what she was holding back. But he knew one thing. Whatever was coming, humanity had faced worse in history. And survived. I promise, Rian said. Outside, the hull cracked open. And the shadow poured in. The moment the hull split open, the shadow didn't rush in with violence. It slid inside like liquid night, silent and curious, as if tasting the air. The emergency lights cast a dull red glow across the corridor, making the black shape look even more unreal, like a wound torn into reality itself. Commander Rian Hale stood in front of the crew, one arm stretched behind him to keep them from stepping forward. He felt no heat, no cold, no air movement, just a heaviness crawling over the skin, like the room itself had stopped breathing. The dust-born woman watched from the corner, clutching her wrist as the metal cord glimmered under the red light. Her body shook, not with fear of the creature, but fear of what she might unleash. Aaron whispered, Commander, it's looking at us. The shadow pulsed. Not brightly, just enough to show awareness, intention. It had no eyes, no face, no structure. Yet everyone felt it focusing on each person individually, like a predator memorizing prey patterns. The AI tried to speak, but the voice crackled. Warning, entity is emitting an unknown. Sudden silence. The AI went dead. The crew stiffened. Losing the AI was like losing half the ship's brain. Rian stepped forward slowly. You don't belong here. This is a civilian vessel. State your. The creature twitched. Not a movement. Not an attack. A response. It mimicked the tilt of Rian's head. Then Aaron's breathing pattern. Then the sound of the dust-born woman whispering under her breath. It wasn't hunting. It was learning. It stretched one thin tendril toward the woman. She curled into herself. No, please, please stay away. Rian moved between them. You'll go through me first. The tendril froze midair. The creature didn't attack. Instead, it changed its shape. It copied Rian's silhouette. A dark outline of a human man. Same height. Same stance. Only difference. It had no eyes, no mouth, no features. Just a moving shadow wearing the shape of a human. Aaron exhaled in disbelief. It's studying you, Commander. The shape stepped closer. Rian didn't move. He held his ground, though his heartbeat hammered in his ears like war drums. The shadow lifted its arm, slow, calm, and pointed at the dust-born woman. The real Rian said, "No." The shadow hesitated, then pointed again, this time at her wrist, at the thin metal cord. Her eyes widened. It senses the sealed energy. It wants what hides inside me. It thinks the cord is the door. Without warning, the shadow's arm elongated like a spear, shooting toward her. Rian grabbed a fallen metal rod and blocked it mid-strike. Sparks flew as darkness clashed against steel. The rod trembled in his hands, vibrating like it was being eaten from the inside. Rian pushed harder, forcing the shadow back a step. That surprised the creature. Humans usually surprise the galaxy. Aaron yelled, "Commander, pull back. You can't fight that thing." Rian gritted his teeth. If it wants her, it will have to break every bone in my body first. The creature shifted its form again, this time taller, broader, more monstrous. Its arms split into multiple tendrils that whipped through the air like silent lightning. The dust-born woman cried out, "Stop fighting it. Every time you resist, it grows stronger. It adapts." Rian spat dust from his mouth. Good. Then let it adapt to losing. He grabbed a fallen emergency shield emitter and slammed the activation switch. A half-circle of transparent energy burst to life, slicing through one of the creature's tendrils. The severed shadow arm dissolved into nothing, but only for a moment. It regenerated instantly. The creature paused, almost impressed. Then it copied the shield's shape. A perfect dark version formed in its own hand. Aaron stepped back. "Sir, it learns everything. Every move. Every tool." Lightning flashed outside the broken hull. A thin layer of atmosphere began to leak away. The creature pressed forward. Rian stood tall, refusing to move even an inch. Humanity didn't bow to unknown monsters. Humanity endured them. The dust-born woman crawled to Rian's side and whispered, voice cracking, "Commander, there is something you should know. Tell me later." "No, you must know now." Her eyes shone with terror. "The cord is not just a seal. It's a prison. I am holding something inside me that should never be released. If the creature forces me to lose control, everyone on this ship dies." Rian stared at her, then at the shadow, then back at the barely glowing metal cord. The creature lifted all its tendrils. A silent signal. A final warning. The next attack wouldn't be a test. It would be a kill strike. The creature's tendrils rose higher, stretching like black spears ready to tear through steel and bone. The bridge was half-lit, half drowned in flickering shadows that danced across the walls. Every crew member froze where they stood, sensing that the next few seconds could decide life or death. Commander Rian tightened his grip on the broken shield emitter, though he knew it was almost useless now. Human weapons weren't designed for something that shifted like liquid and learned faster than any machine. The dust-born woman pressed her forehead to the cold floor, whispering words in her native tongue. Words that carried fear. Words that tasted like regret. Rian crouched beside her. "Look at me." She shook her head. "I don't want you to see my face, not when everything ends." "It's not ending," Rian said firmly. "We're not done." She finally lifted her face. Silver eyes, full of dread and something darker. "Commander, that creature evolves. It studies movement. It studies energy. And soon it will study my blood. If that happens," her hand trembled as she touched the metal cord, "it will know the truth." Rian's voice dropped. "What truth?" She swallowed hard. "My people feared the power inside me so deeply that they didn't just seal it, they erased my name from our records. They removed me from my clan tree. I became less than the dustborn. I became..." The creature lunged. It didn't roar. It didn't scream. It didn't make any sound at all. It moved like a silent storm. Rian rolled with the woman, narrowly avoiding a tendril slicing through the floor where her head had been. The metal cracked open like paper. Sparks shot into the air. Alarms wailed as pressure sensors triggered. Aaron shouted, "The hull around the breach is destabilizing. We're seconds away from a full collapse." Rian helped the woman to her feet. "Stay behind me." But she shook her head fiercely. "No, I can't hide anymore." The creature shifted into something new, larger, more angular, almost skeletal. Its limbs spread wide, scraping the walls as it crawled toward them. The air grew colder, as if its presence sucked heat from the room. Rian held the shield emitter like a sword. "If we die today, we die fighting." The creature froze. Then, it did something none of them expected. It spoke. A deep, vibrating sound echoed through the metal walls. Not language, not words, just a primal resonance that felt like someone pressing a heavy hand against the heart. The Dustborn woman gasped. "It recognizes the energy." Rian said, "What energy?" She took a shaky breath. "The power they sealed inside me. It's not a weapon. It's not a curse. It's a living force. A storm trapped in my blood." Rian stared. "And the cord keeps the storm asleep," she finished. "But the creature senses it. It thinks the storm belongs to it. It wants to take it." The creature twisted its head-shaped form, focusing entirely on her. Its body thinned into a spear-like silhouette aimed directly toward the cord. Aaron shouted, "Commander!" "It's aiming for her wrist." Before Rian could move, the creature shot forward like a bolt of darkness. The woman raised her hand. Instinct, fear, something deeper. The cord glowed faintly, just for a second. A soft, golden shimmer leaked from beneath it. That tiny shimmer slammed into the creature like a wave. The shadow recoiled violently, its entire form rippling as if someone hit it with pure light. For the first time, it shrank backward, not learning, not adapting, but fearing. The lights flickered back to life for a brief moment. Aaron whispered, stunned, "Sir," she heard it, without even touching it. Rian stared at the trembling woman. "What exactly is inside you?" She stepped back, hugging herself. "Something old. Something wild. Something my people tried to bury. They believed a dustborn body was too weak to hold it. But somehow it chose me." Rian took a slow breath. "And the shadow wants it." She nodded. "If the cord breaks, the storm inside me wakes. The creature will try to take it. And if it succeeds," her voice cracked, "it will become something this galaxy has never seen." The ship groaned as the creature regained its shape. Its tendrils elongated again, more aggressive than before, driven by hunger and instinct. But now, something new hung in the air. For the first time, the creature feared her more than it feared the humans. Rian noticed that too, and he realized something important. Whatever was sealed inside her was the first thing that had ever made the creature hesitate. Rian stepped closer to her. "Then we use that. Your people feared this power, but humans don't fear what we don't understand. We face it. We control it. We turn it into strength." She trembled. "Commander, if the storm wakes, I don't know if I will survive it." Rian answered with the calm certainty of a human who had faced worse odds in history. "Then humanity will stand with you until the last breath." The creature crouched low, ready to strike again. This time, it wasn't testing them. This time, it wanted the storm. The creature lowered itself like a panther preparing to strike. Its elongated limbs spread across the floor, clinging to the metal panels as if preparing for one final, decisive leap. The air thickened, humming with a pressure that made every breath harder. Red emergency lights blinked in a slow, heavy rhythm, like the ship itself was afraid to take its eyes off the monster. Commander Rian Hale stood beside the dustborn woman, shield emitter in hand, even though he knew the device was nearly dead. The crew formed a half-circle behind them, unarmed, terrified, but still refusing to abandon their commander. Humans had a habit of standing between danger and the vulnerable. It was part instinct, part stubbornness, part pride. The dustborn woman pressed her palm to her chest. "Commander, the storm inside me, it is waking." Rian glanced at her wrist. The metal cord was glowing. A dim gold pulse. Thump, 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 almost like a heartbeat. Aaron stepped closer, voice shaking. "Sir, is something happening to her?" "She's stabilizing," Rian said, though he wasn't sure if that was true. "Or trying to." The woman clutched her wrist, fighting to control her breathing. The creature's presence breaks the seal. Every time it gets close, the storm pushes harder. It wants to be free. And we're not letting that thing take it, Rian said. The creature shifted, its black form rippling into something new. Taller, more defined, almost humanoid again, but with limbs too long and movements too smooth. It raised its arm and pointed at the woman, not in anger, but hunger. Then its body expanded outward in a burst of shadow. Aaron yelled, "Commander!" It's splitting. 3 smaller silhouettes broke away from the main mass, sliding across the floor like liquid knives. Rian raised the shield emitter. "Everyone back. Hold your ground." The first shadow lunged at a crew member. Rian intercepted, slamming the dying emitter into its chest. The impact sent a flash of weak blue energy through the creature's body. It shrieked in a way that wasn't sound, more like a vibration inside the bones. The creature dissolved into smoke. But the 2 others kept coming. The dust-born woman screamed as one of them charged toward her. But the moment it got close, the cord flared. A burst of golden pressure exploded outward, slamming the shadow against the far wall. The metal dented inward as the creature shriveled like burnt paper, dissolving into dark mist. The room went silent. Aaron whispered, "Sir, she didn't even touch it." Rian exhaled slowly. "She's not powerless. She's the strongest person in this room." The woman fell to her knees. "No, you don't understand. This isn't strength. This is the storm warning me. It's trying to break free, and every time it reacts, it gets harder to control." Rian knelt beside her. "You're still holding it back. That means you're stronger than it." Her lips trembled. "For how long?" The main creature reformed in the center of the bridge, slowly, deliberately. It wasn't confused anymore. It wasn't testing. It wasn't curious. It was angry. Its entire body bristled with jagged blades of shadow. Its form bent unnaturally backward, as if preparing to launch itself with inhuman force. Rian raised the shield emitter again. The creature lifted both arms, shadow blades stretching like spears. The dust-born woman gasped. "Commander, it's adapting to my pulse. It wants to break the cord. If it hits me now, the seal will shatter." Rian didn't think. He simply stepped in front of her. "Then it has to hit me first." The crew stared in shock. Humans had a way of making impossible promises and meaning them. The creature lunged. This time, it moved too fast for the eye to follow. Rian braced for the strike, ready to take the hit. But the strike never reached him. Something else did. A sound. A rumbling thrum from deep inside the dust-born woman's chest. A low pulse. A thunder waiting under her skin. And then, the storm inside her breathed. A ring of golden energy exploded outward from her body, expanding like a shockwave. It didn't roar. It didn't crackle. It didn't burn. It was quiet, silent, pure, heavy. The shockwave hit the creature midair. The shadow twisted violently, its form bending in unnatural angles, its limbs melting, reforming, shattering again. The wave passed through it like sunlight through smoke. But somehow, the creature felt every second of it. It crashed against the ceiling, ripping metal panels free. More sparks showered the bridge. The creature writhed, its shape flickering between shadow and nothingness. For the first time, it looked truly hurt. The golden wave faded as quickly as it appeared. The dust-born woman collapsed, her body shaking, her breathing uneven. Rian caught her before she hit the floor. "Stay with me," she whispered, weakly. The storm, it is no longer fully asleep." Behind them, the creature began to rise again. Slower, damaged, but angrier than ever. Aaron stared, horrified. "Commander," that last burst didn't kill it. It only made it furious. Rian looked at the glowing cord, barely holding together. "We can't keep fighting it," he said. "We need to understand it. We need to figure out why it wants the storm." The woman opened her eyes, whispering a truth she had been hiding since the beginning. "Because the storm inside me wasn't meant to be sealed." Rian froze. She looked up at him, voice cracking. "It was meant to be released." And the creature heard those words. The creature rose from the floor like smoke-forming bones. Its limbs flickered, its shape unstable, as if the golden shockwave had broken something inside it. But even damaged, even trembling, it still crawled toward the dust-born woman. Commander Rian Hale stood between them again, his body a wall, his stare sharp as steel. But this time, the creature didn't attack. It listened, because the woman's last words hung in the air like a crack in fate. The storm was meant to be released. Aaron swallowed hard. eyes darting between the monster and the trembling woman. Commander, what does that mean? Rian kept his eyes on the creature. It means she's been hiding more than we thought. The woman pushed herself upright, gripping the wall for support. Her silver eyes glowed faintly, tired but steady. My people lied to the entire galaxy, she whispered. The storm wasn't sealed because it was dangerous. It was sealed because it was sacred. Rian blinked. Sacred? She nodded weakly. Long ago, before any of our clans divided, before my species believed in purity or rank, the storm was a living force that protected us. It could sense threats. It could repel darkness. It could even reshape energy. Aaron's voice cracked. A weapon? No, she said softly. A guardian. Rian narrowed his eyes. Then why did your people seal it inside you? Her voice trembled. Because our rulers feared it. They feared anyone who could use it. So they locked it away inside the one caste they believed had no power, mine. The Dustborn. Rian clenched his jaw. They hid their greatest power inside the people they mistreated. She nodded. Yes. And when the storm chose me, they panicked. They marked me unclean. They erased my name. They sealed me. And they sent me away so the galaxy would never learn the truth. Behind them, the creature twitched, slowly, like understanding. Rian glanced at it. Then what does it want? Why chase you across space? The woman pointed at the creature with shaking fingers. Because it is the last remnant of an ancient enemy. A species made of living darkness. Creatures that once tried to consume the storm's light. Aaron froze. You're saying this thing fought your people before? Not just fought, she whispered. They nearly destroyed us. Until the storm came. Until its guardians pushed them back into the void. She looked at the creature. It remembers that defeat. And it knows the storm has awakened again. The creature lifted its limbs, trembling. Not with anger, but recognition. Rian stepped forward. So that thing wants the storm to stay sealed. Because if it wakes, it dies, she finished. The creature lurched suddenly, slamming its limbs into the floor, sending cracks across the metal. Its shape widened, shadows climbing the walls like living ink. The room grew colder. Aaron backed up, terrified. Commander, it's preparing for something big. Rian tightened his stance. It's scared. It knows it's running out of time. The Dustborn woman stood on shaky legs, lifting her wrist. The metal cord glowed brighter, almost painfully bright. The storm inside her pushed harder, begging for release. I cannot hold it much longer, she whispered. Every second the creature is near, the seal weakens. Rian touched her arm. Then release it. She flinched. No, you don't understand. When the storm wakes, I might disappear. It might consume me. I might become nothing but light. Rian didn't blink. You're not alone. You won't face it alone. You have a ship full of humans behind you. And humans don't abandon their allies. A tear slipped down her cheek. But what if the storm hurts you? Rian spoke calmly, like someone who had already decided to die for her if he had to. Then humanity will endure it. But we will not let that creature win. The creature suddenly screeched, a deep, vibrating howl that shook the entire bridge. Panels ripped free from the ceiling. Lights burst. Sparks rained like falling stars. Then the creature charged. Not at Rian. Not at the crew. But straight at the Dustborn woman's wrist. Straight at the cord. Rian threw himself forward. But he was too far. The creature's blade-like limb reached her first. And slammed against the glowing cord. The cord cracked. A thin line of golden light shot. Out like lightning. The creature recoiled violently, hissing, its body ripping apart and reforming in panic. The woman screamed, doubling over as the light beneath her skin surged like wildfire. Aaron yelled, Commander, the seal is failing. Rian grabbed her shoulders. Hold on. Stay with me. The woman shook her head, tears falling. I can't. The storm is waking. It's waking too fast. The cord split again. A second crack. Golden beams leaked from the gaps, flooding the room with blinding radiance. The creature shrieked, pressing itself against the far wall, trying desperately to escape the spreading glow. Rian held her close. Listen to me. You're stronger than you think. You can control it. Her voice was barely a whisper. Commander, if the last piece breaks, the storm will no longer be inside me. Rian stared. What happens then? She lifted trembling fingers toward the final piece of the cord. Her voice was raw, filled with fear and truth. It will be free. The cord pulsed one last time. Crack. And the storm woke up. The final crack of the cord echoed like a gunshot through the ship. Then, silence. For one long heartbeat, nothing moved. Nothing breathed. Even the creature froze in place, its limbs stiff with terror. The dust-born woman stood completely still, her eyes closed, her body trembling as threads of golden energy crawled across her skin like living fire. The storm was no longer a quiet whisper inside her. It was awake, alive, and searching for escape. Commander Rian Hale held her tightly. "Stay with me. Look at me." She opened her eyes slowly. They weren't silver anymore. They glowed with swirling gold, like two small suns rising in the dark. "Commander," she whispered, "I can feel everything. The ship, the air, the creature, the stars outside. I can hear them calling." Rian steadied her. "Focus on me. Don't let it control you." Her fingers dug into his uniform. "I'm changing. I can't stop it." Behind them, the creature screeched, not like a predator, but like prey realizing there was no escape. Its entire shadow body twisted violently, limbs flailing as it tried to pull itself through the fractured hull, desperate to flee. Aaron pointed. "Commander, look. It's running." Rian didn't take his eyes off the woman. "It's terrified. The storm is the one thing it fears." The golden light around her body grew brighter, swirling like wind around a flame. The deck under her feet began to glow. Energy pulsed from her in soft waves that shook the walls. She gasped. "I can't hold it. If I release it fully, it may destroy the ship." Rian gripped her shoulders. "Listen to me. Humanity never runs from impossible odds. And you're not doing this alone." Her breath hitched. "But the storm wants to fight. It wants to chase the creature. It wants to burn everything dark." Rian stepped closer, forehead touching hers. "Then give it direction. Not freedom. You decide what it does." The creature shrieked again and slammed its body into the emergency airlock controls. Sparks flew. Metal bent. It clawed desperately to escape into space. The storm inside the woman surged again. A violent pulse of golden energy burst outward. But Rian held her steady, absorbing the shockwave with gritted teeth. "Commander, move." Aaron yelled. "No," Rian shouted back. "If she falls, we all fall." The woman's body arched backward, golden lightning spiraling into her arms. The lights flickered wildly. Air hummed. The creature screamed and tore a hole through the hull, dragging itself toward vacuum. The woman reached out, not with her hand, but with pure light. A beam shot from her palm. It wasn't fire. It wasn't energy. It was something older, heavier, like condensed sunlight shaped into a spear. The beam struck the creature mid-escape. The shadow convulsed violently, its body fracturing into hundreds of pieces like ink splashed across the stars. Each fragment tried to flee, crawling through the vacuum. But the beam held them. Then, boom, a shock wave of golden light erupted outward, flooding the corridor, pushing through the broken hull, exploding into space like a newborn star. The creature disintegrated completely, its presence erased from existence. The ship shook from the force. Panels collapsed. Airlocks sealed automatically. Gravity flickered. And then, slowly, the golden light faded. The dust-born woman collapsed. Rian caught her in his arms before she hit the floor. Her eyes dimmed, returning to their normal silver. The glow around her skin dissolved like dust in the breeze. "Commander," she whispered weakly, "is it gone?" Rian exhaled shakily. "It's gone. You destroyed it." Aaron approached, eyes wide. "Sir, she saved all of us." Rian nodded gently. "Yes, she did." She blinked slowly, fighting to stay conscious. The storm, it's quiet again. But not sealed. Not asleep. Just waiting. Rian tightened his hold. "Then we protect you. All of us. From now on, you're not dustborn. You're crew." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "But I have no clan. No name. No place." Rian looked around at his people. Humans bruised, scared, exhausted, but standing tall. "You have one now," he said. "Humanity doesn't care where you're from. Only who you choose to be." She allowed herself a small, tired smile. "Then, I choose to stay." Alarms faded. Lights stabilized. The ship hummed softly, healing itself. Aaron sighed in relief. "Commander, what do we do now?" Rian stood, lifting the woman carefully. "We repair the ship," he said. "We get her medical help. And then," he looked out the shattered viewing window, where the last spark of golden light drifted into space. "We find out who else is hunting her." Because creatures like that never came alone. And somewhere in the dark, something else had definitely felt the storm wake up.